Hi, this is Greg from Chaos Design Company. This is going to be a short installation video of how to put on the Gladiator tailgate embossed look kit. In your kit you will receive one emblem, enough vinyl to wrap your tailgate, knifeless tape to do all the trimming. This should be installed by a professional. Do not try this if you do not know what you're doing. In the kit, you got all that included. What you'll need as far as tools, you'll need a heat gun, a sharp razor made for wraps, tape measure, a squeegee with a buffer on it so you don't scratch the vinyl, rollies, this is to work the vinyl into the crevices of the letters, a wrap glove, masking tape to hold everything in place. When you get into removal of some of the panels, the T30 Torx will remove this panel for the camera. The 5/16 will help you remove the bolts for the taillights. Alcohol to clean everything up, and a nice clean rag. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we can actually install this. This will give you the option if you want to just have the emblem on the tailgate by itself in a contrasting color. This is black. We also offer it in sting gray, so it'll actually match this dead on. White, red, and we're going to get some more colors in the future. But we'll install this one, and then we'll hit with the wrap after this one. So first thing you want to do is, obviously, the old Jeep logo leaves these guide pin holes. These things are a nightmare. Getting the emblem off is a whole video in itself. That one I'll post a link to on my YouTube channel. So what we want to do is, we're going to get this centered. The whole point of this is to cover these holes. So if you follow the instructions on the measurements, you will cover the holes. It's the corners of the A is what actually covers the hole. So I'm just setting it in place. I'm going to measure from the edge of the tailgate to the R is going to be 8 5/8. So I was actually very, very close. I'm going to move that over here. And move this over here. So 8 5/8. That one's dead on. And that one is dead on. All right. Now, from the bottom of the tailgate up to the bottom of the leather is going to be 9 3/4. So I'm going to have to come down a wee bit. Nine 3/4 there, and I'm gonna go more. Remember the old saying, measure twice, cut once? Well, this is measure twice, stick once. So make sure everything stays where it needs to be at 9 3/4. That way we can cover our holes. So the holes should be approximately there and there. These two corners of the A's will cover it. Next thing I'm going to do is, we call this the hinge method. I'm going to put a piece of tape dead center or close to center of this emblem and stick that down. What that'll do is hold the emblem from moving around. So then what I can do now is you take your razor, do not cut on the paint. I cut a little back onto the paper very slightly, very low pressure, only to cut the masking tape. All right. So what we do is now we peel this back, take off the liner, exposing the decal. I could just tear this. This will be fine. Now what we do is, since it's called the hinge method, you're going to hinge this back to the masking tape and line up the tape. All right, so that's lined up. Take your squeegee and start at the middle and work your way across each letter. So that should be down and perfect. Now what we do is the same thing coming this way. Again, don't cut on your car, cut on top of the paper. But do not put enough pressure to cut through the paper, only the tape. Remove this hinge here, because we have a natural one now. This we're gonna pop off. Again, pull this back, remove the paper backing, come across. Just keep nice tension on this and set that down right in line. Now come back with your squeegee again, one letter at a time, so you get good adhesion. Your chances of getting bubbles are very minimum. And that's down. Now if you want to go back over it yourself, all right, so now that will be stuck on here nicely. There you go. Now, this kit enables you to run vinyl on top of this because there's no hard edges. It all rolls right into the paint. So as of now, it looks like an embossed kit. Once I wrap over it, it's going to look like it's part of the tailgate. With this kit, you can install just the emblem by itself. That way you have the contrasting black on gray or whatever other colors we offer in the future. Or from here, we also offer the second stage of the kit, which will include the wrap vinyl, which will take care of this center section and around the quarter panels where the taillights are. So you have options in doing this whichever way you enjoy it. This is going to come in, right now we have gray, red, white, and black. We'll incorporate more colors as the vinyls become available. So this is all up to you. All right, so if you buy this kit, you have options of purchasing wrap vinyl as well to black out the center section of this tailgate and around where the taillights are. So this part of the video will show you how to remove the camera, which is behind this panel, and the taillights, and then we'll get into the wrapping of the tailgate. Okay, so to remove this access panel, it's a T30 Torx, not very complicated. There we go. That's your camera. This wire it has a squeeze clip to squeeze it and try to pull it out. There we go, so that's off. Now, make sure when you go to remove the camera, this clip here slides this way towards the passenger side of the truck. But make sure you have a hold on your camera itself because it will fall off. So you take this clip and you just pop it off. Take the clip out, and the camera has a little plastic clip up front that you got to push in, and then you slide it forward and down and out. Next step is to remove the taillights. This is pretty easy. 5/16 socket. You have two bolts, one here, one here. This you can kind of move up out of the way. The taillights shouldn't fall out because they're held in with push pins. So what you want to do is you want to kind of pull it out a hair. You're going to hear that click, and then pull it straight back. All right, that's these things releasing. There is clips here that makes that pop-in sound. Now, as far as the wiring, this little tab has to slide back. This one's already pushed back. Slide it back, squeeze, and remove. Just repeat the same for both sides. Okay, so once you have the camera out and the taillights off, you can start cleaning. I would say start off with a ready wash truck. That does help. But while we have the tailgate open, I'm going to get some alcohol. I'm going to wipe the inside edges of the tailgate. All right, and the inside edges of where the taillights are. Because what happens is the wrap vinyl will come into there, and it needs to adhere. So let's do that for both sides. That's it. We can close this tailgate and start cleaning everything down with the alcohol. Now, the next step is we have to basically trace how you want the vinyl to lay. Most people take this top line here, all right, and you follow it right around. Out here, there's a curve. You come down, there's another curve, and just follow it straight back and around and loop and come and meet. So in order to do that, what I do is we lay down 3M's knifeless tape. When you place the vinyl over this, after the vinyl's on top, you can actually pull the tape and a little piece of string will come and cut the vinyl from underneath. That way you don't have to put any blades on your paint. But we'll show you that when we get into the wrap install. All right, so let me see, I'm gonna start this. All right, so I'm gonna start on a straight. Make sure you give yourself plenty of room to tear that tape when you're ready. So now what I do is I take that top line, I come around, and I follow that line all the way across the truck. I just go back and tap it down so it doesn't move on me. Come around this way. And when it gets into this curve, you gotta use your eyes and just follow that curve as best you can. So again, keep on that body line. Come around, again, find that line. Straight up. Straighten it out. So now, when we get to this point, we're going to crisscross the tape. I'm going to try to line it up as best as I can so it overlaps perfectly. Then I'm going to run this off to the top. When we go to remove this tape later on, this is going to be the one you pull first, because it'll come under and it's not going to cut the other tape. So we want to pull the one that's laying on top. Just push everything down, make sure it's nice and snug. That way it doesn't pop off, especially on these turns where there's a little pressure. All right, so next is our vinyl. I'm going to give you two pieces that are both 60 inches long. One piece will be strictly for the tailgate. The other piece will be for the corners. So what I like to do is pull back your release liner a little bit. Now this vinyl is to replicate a bed liner as opposed to a regular flat vinyl. You can see it's textured. So this is the Avery Rugged Onyx. So now what I do is I just tap it down to catch there at the top and here at the bottom. Now we run one piece of vinyl all the way across. All right, again, tap it top and bottom. Now, take your squeegee. I'm just tapping it down here so it holds and doesn't slide out of the way. Now, the top section, I'm just going to catch this here. Just get it a little snug. Just pull it up a hair, just to make it like nice and tight, like a drum. Tap the top down so that doesn't move. All right, so now this is where it gets a little complicated. This is where the professionals come into play. In order to get that embossed look, you're gonna have to use a heat gun and your roller. So the heat gun, you don't want to heat too much. You want to just get this vinyl pliable. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to find out where my letters are. Just get that going. And I'm going to start by rolling up and down and working my way across. So you can see how the vinyl adheres around the edge of the letters. You can't really do this by hand, it'll be very difficult. That's why these tools all come in very handy. And not everybody's gonna go out and buy one of these little rollers just to do this. So if you have a professional in the area, bring it by, spend the money, have them put it on, have them do it right the first time. So now, I'm gonna come in with our squeegee. See how we got this little buffer on here? We're just gonna work that up. All right. Get our wrap glove on. Now the wrap glove just makes this able to slide our hands across the wrap. So just run your thumb across and get that vinyl into that crease, into that body line. That's it. Just methodically work your way across, not to trap any air. And I like to use my hands a lot, so. When you get something like that, you just push on it and it goes away. It's like magic. Now, if you get air trapped like I have here, you can just pop that vinyl back up, like that, and just let it out. Then you run all that air towards that opening that you have now. Now go back and check your letters to see, make sure everything's down where you want it. I'll run my finger around just to make sure. Just trace the outline of each letter. Okay, so on this part you gotta be kind of careful because we're gonna cut this vinyl back, just trim it right to the edge of the body here on this edge of the quarter panel, but we cannot cut through that tape that we put down. So what we wanna do is make a cut, stop the tape, you can see the tape right there. You can pull this, you can rip it just a hair. Then get your blade in there again, trace down the edge. So you get to your next piece of tape. Just pull it right over. A little rip's not gonna hurt anybody. Then you continue that cut down. All right, and we'll do the same for the other side. Let me stand here because I'm a lefty. Don't make fun of me. All right, so again, cut on the quarter panel side. Caring not to cut through the knifeless tape. Now in the kit you'll get knifeless tape or another brand of tape that works in a similar fashion. We're working on it now because knifeless tape doesn't order short rolls. They only have 130-foot rolls, so you're not gonna need 130 feet. Again, cut up to the tape, rip, and then remove. Okay, so now, I'm just gonna run my finger down here just to kind of push it in a little bit. We're not ready to tuck it all the way in yet. I'm just prepping it for the corners when we wrap around. Just so they don't get caught up on each other. Okay. So now this is another length of 60 inches, just about. So you wanna give yourself enough to come past here and pull around. So, what is this? About 18 inches. Yep. Give yourself 18 inches or so. Again, just start the corner edge, peel this back. You can take the whole piece off if you like. It's not a big deal. It's not like you're working with a huge piece of vinyl. I like to catch the top first and then the bottom. Again, you want to make sure you cover up that knifeless tape because otherwise it won't cut. Then just grip it firmly and pull it around, just like that. Now, what you have to make sure is in here, if there's a small piece of body, you want to make sure you get that without any wrinkles. Just work that in. Now, I'm going to just run my thumb right around this because there's a little bit of a crease that comes up that goes into the taillights, and there I got a little wrinkle. Now what's nice is you could cut an access hole into this vinyl here because there's nothing back there, it's empty, that's where the taillight goes. And I can pop this up and stretch out any vinyl I need to get into those spaces. That's it, you just work it with your thumb. Surround that taillight pocket. Again, just up here, you got these little funny spots where extra vinyl bunches up. You can just pull it down, pull it into the areas where you're trying to work. So that taillight's good and surrounded. All right. So now with this, your taillight sits over this section. You can see there's a hole here you have to trim out. So what I do is I just leave myself a little bit. I cut on the inside edge of this, maybe 1/8 to 1/4 inch or so. Just trim it around. Because you could either roll that into the body, like that, and get the heat going. Just a little bit of heat. And just roll that right in. Your taillight's going to cover all that stuff up anyway, so it's not a crucial part to be super, super neat. Here, I'm just going to take my brazier, cut this little circle out. Just tuck that in. All right, that's one side. So we're going to do the same exact thing with this side. Again, give yourself roughly 18 inches of vinyl. I'll give you extra in case you screw one up. This happens to the best of us. Make sure you cover the tape. So now we will get this tape out and cut our lines. So like I said from the beginning, we're gonna pull this line here. That's gonna be our first, and it's gonna go all the way around and end here. So what you need to do is pull this tape back, get your finger on top of the tape, like fold it back on itself, and pull slightly. The point is to release that pink filament from inside the green. So now when you get to the edge of the vinyl, place your finger on top and pull it. Then just pull straight down on itself. When we get here, it's gonna get a little tricky because we have 2 layers of vinyl. So just kind of walk it across. Again, we're gonna hit a little snag right there where the vinyl doubles up. And here. Cross it again. And then you run straight off. Now you remove, make sure you get both pieces of green because the tape splits in half. So you can start pulling the vinyl. This gives you a nice clean cut. There's no way that you cut your paint. So you want to bring it to the body shop, have them fix all the scratches. That's nice, beautiful lines. Now what we're going to do is, I'm going to pull this back. All right, so it stays back on itself. You can actually stick it, if you can, roll it back and stick it to itself. Just to hold it out of the way. So, because I'm going to open the tailgate. See that? That's the green stripe. Got stuck under there. So again, you pull this back a little bit. So it's out of the way of the tailgate. Then I'm going to open the tailgate. Imagine what that was. Oh, that was a clip. Let me go grab my gloves. All right, so now, with that piece that we had from the tailgate, we're just gonna roll that in. So it comes right around the edge of that side of the tailgate. All right. Then with this, we're just gonna pull it back, and we're gonna give this a little bit of a trim. We'll come in maybe 1/4 inch, and run your blade straight down. So now what we can do is just take that edge also and run it in. So now you don't really see the edge of that gray sticking out. Again, down here. Camera access hole.
just gonna trim that out. Just give that a little relief cut.
That's nice. So now we just go over the edges, make sure they're all down. From when you pull the tape up, you know, it lifts that edge just a little bit. So just run your hand around it. Go over it, look for bubbles or anything else. Now you have an option with the camera. If you want a little contrast, you can leave the camera, the body color, and just install it again. Or you can wrap it. So that choice is yours. Don't lose the clip. Okay, so like at the beginning of the video, we showed just the black emblem on top of the gray. Looks great. That looks awesome. You could do whatever color we have. That's your option. This is the Avery Rugged Onyx Black. It's a completely different look. It gives it the more of the bed liner look as opposed to a regular matte vinyl or a gloss vinyl. So you'll be able to choose your options in the kit. So now we'll go back and reinstall everything. I'm gonna go with the gray camera. So I'm gonna pop the tailgate. I gotta work from the underneath up. Again, just get that little tab in there and push it up. It's not going to click into place because it's really just kind of held in there with this clip. This clip comes in from the side. It just slides into place, really nothing much to it. Here's your camera wiring. Now you'll see there's this certain shape to it. You just got to make sure that goes on properly. And that's it. Camera's in. Access panel goes back. Okay, so next step is putting the taillights back in. It's not very hard. Just reverse the steps that you did before. Clip first. Metal tab to safety. Again, these pins line up with these holes. There's a little plastic clip on the side here you got to get in there too. So I try to go in, and you can almost see them. That's it. It just snaps into place. Start these by hand so you don't strip anything. They're not the heaviest screws in the world, so. Don't over tighten them. That's one. Once that's done, you're all shaped up and ready to go with your brand new Chaos Design Company embossed look Gladiator tailgate kit.